Good evening. Tonight, we know the identity and family story of the U.S. Army Staff Sergeant arrested and held following the massacre of 16 civilians in Afghanistan. He's 38, an 11-year veteran. Like so many in uniform over this past decade, he saw a lot of action in 2 different wars, multiple deployments. What he's accused of course, goes way beyond him and continues to unfold as a big international incident. It has the power to change the course of the war in Afghanistan. We begin with the new details tonight. NBC's Miguel Almaguer is at Fort Lewis in Washington State. Miguel, good evening.
Brian, good evening. The soldier is a career military man. He has spent all of his time at this base since he enlisted, and tonight we are learning much more about him.
U.S. officials confirm the shooting suspect is 38-year-old Robert Bales, shown here training at a California military facility. Deployed to Afghanistan in December, the staff sergeant is accused of killing 16 Afghan civilians, many of them children and women. Today at Joint Base Lewis McChord, General David Rodriguez.
It's a tragedy. Everybody knows that doesn't reflect our standards and our values, nor does it reflect the, majority of leaders and soldiers who serve here every day as well as overseas.
Bales has been described as a highly decorated staff sergeant, a member of the 3rd Stryker Brigade, 2nd Infantry Division, with a clean record of conduct. John Henry Brown, Bales' civil attorney, spoke to his client last night.
He felt it was his calling to stand up for the United States after 9/11 and then decided to make his career the military.
A soldier for more than a decade, Bales has been deployed 3 times to Iraq, where officials say he suffered a traumatic head injury in a crash and lost part of his foot in a separate incident. In Afghanistan, Bales is said to have seen a friend lose a leg.
There was an incident right before these allegations where one of his fellow soldiers was mortally wounded a few days before this incident.
His attorney says Bales may be suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and never expected a 4th deployment.
Overnight, he was told he was going back, and he has told his family and told me that he did what he was ordered to do because he's a soldier.
Bales was born in Ohio. His attorney insists he is a happily married father of 2 who's been stationed at Lewis McChord his entire military career. The staff sergeant is said to have lived a quiet, unassuming life not far off base. There are unconfirmed reports Bales may have been drinking the night of the murders. Tonight, his wife and children are at Lewis McChord on base for their own protection.
The suspect's family now has deep roots here in Washington State. His wife is said to be a highly placed executive for a very well-known company in Seattle. As for the suspect himself, he is headed to Fort Leavenworth in Kansas. Brian?
Miguel Almaguer in Washington State tonight. Miguel, thanks.